So how is everybody doing today? How about you, Picard? You always look like you're having a rough day. So this just showed up the other day. It is an FDM printer from Elegoo. It's the Neptune 2. I had no idea this was coming, to tell you the truth. I didn't even know Elegoo made FDM printers, to be honest. I always think of resonance printers like the Mars 2. But yet, an FDM printer. And after it showed up, knowing nothing about it, I just decided, hey, why not put it together and do some printing. I did do the print. Where's it at? This little guy, the one that comes with it already installed, and it printed out really good. This is the very first print I did after I put it together. Just literally put it together, leveled the bed, hit play, and this little guy popped out. And it did a really good job. After that, I just kind of did some other printing things. I know I'm always just printing knickknacks and everything just to mess around, see how it worked. And I was pleasantly surprised. The steppers on this thing, silent, and there's nothing better than silent stepper motors, because I mean, especially when you get to like the extruder when you're doing retracts, it's just so annoying to listen to that all day long. The loudest thing on this whole machine, the power supply fan and the blower fan. I think the power supply fan is probably the loudest, to be honest. It's a 220 by 220 by 250 FDM printer, and after seeing the prints, I was like, wow, that's pretty good. But then I saw how much it cost. 160 bucks. That's phenomenal. For a printer of this caliber, 160 bucks is pretty good. The only thing I don't like about the printer is it doesn't come with auto bed leveling. There looks like there's two little mounting holes there, so it looks like it can be added to it. I also get like a filament runout sensor, which is insane. So this thing is pretty packed for the price, and I think it's a really good printer considering what I've seen so far. But we need to give it a little bit more testing. We need to print something on this printer, and I have the perfect idea for it. Excuse me, thank you. Everybody knows this. This is the A12x25 from Noctua that we use all the time in the Fan Showdown. This is the one from the last video, the disc fan. Pretty cool. But the reason this fan is so good is because you can just pull this off, and you get a steel hub that's left there, and then any fan you guys send me, boop, put it right on there, test it out, and we can see how it works. But I also have other Noctua fans, and I have one in particular that I've been looking at ever since it showed up at my house. Oh, the NF A20, the 200 millimeter big boy. And I've been wondering, do you think that this fan also has a steel hub inside? And if it does, can we make a custom version of the A20? I hope so. I don't know what I would do with it, because it's a 200 millimeter fan, but I know the fan that I want to put in it. We just got to find out if it's possible. So first things first is we got to murder it. As always, my weapon of choice is the Dremel. So yeah, as you can see there, it's set up basically like a regular fan would be. But I wonder if it's still, I wonder if we can figure something out. So I do have a plan though, and that's going to be this guy. So this is basically just a hub template, and the idea is I'm going to put this ring inside here, and then this little axle here will hopefully press fit into this piece here, like that. Hopefully it won't wobble around too much. Seems like it works. Now we'll plug it in and see if it spins. If it's not the best way of doing it, but I think it'll work. Oh, look at that. So it is working. It's a little wobbly, but I think we can make do with that. I'm lucky enough that I have the original model of this, because I couldn't do this with just an STL, but I need to scale it up. So this is what I've come up with. Essentially, I've just taken it into my 3D 3D modeling software, and I've scaled it up about 1.725, I believe, from its original size. And then after I did that, I pulled that into an assembly, and then I stuck the puck that I made into the hub, filled in all the gaps, and saved that assembly off as a part file, so then I could save that as an STL file, and now we're here. And also, you can see that I'm using the Ender 3 profile, so I like to use Prusa Slicer. I'm just used to it. And the Ender 3 profile actually works really good for this Elegoo Neptune 2. So, yeah, now we're gonna try to slice it up and see if if it'll print. Okay, not gonna lie, that took an incredibly long amount of time to print, but I think that's how I want to give it a shot. I think it'll work. So let's try it out. We're loaded up, ready to go. You can probably hear this fan and this fan. Right now you can hear that fan. It's pretty loud, the hot end fan. So this is going to be quite a while. It estimated about 7 to 8 hours. So we'll probably see you tomorrow. It took a minute. Let's see. How long exactly did it take? 8 hours and 41 minutes. And there it is. I hope you guys can still see me. Camouflage joke. But this is actually the first large form print that I made on the Neptune 2. So actually, the larger like a print is, like surface area wise, on the build plate, I've always found that if there's any weak spots in the print bed, you'll be able to tell because you'll get some curling on the edges where things don't want to stick. But this one looks good. The layer lines look good. Nothing looks like it lifted, so pretty impressive. Pretty impressive indeed. Now let's see. Can we get it off there? Yes. Oh, so satisfying. Oh my gosh, it's on there good. Ooh, I'll tell you what, that turned out really, really good. Now it's not the perfect size for this fan frame because it's just a scale up version of this one, but that was that's the idea here. We wanted to see how well it would look and function on this printer, scaled up. And I'm even the detail on the top, obviously I didn't go all the way through because I have to fit that ring in there, but it came out really nice. I mean, let's be honest here. This one came from a what? If you buy the Prusa already built, it's like almost $1,000. I paid like $7.99 for it. This came from a $160 printer, with the only downside of this printer being that it doesn't come with automatic bed leveling. I think that is I'm pretty impressed actually. So now let's see if we can get this this big boy to function. There's our little opening. Ring goes in like that. Oh wow, that fits really nicely actually. It's almost like we measured it. Okay, now all we got to do is push it into the frame, and if we're lucky, we'll get something that's usable. Oh, that's so satisfying. It looks so cool. That's pretty awesome. I don't know what it is about a giant 200mm fan, but it just looks sweet. It actually looks cooler than it does on the 120. So here's the 120 version. You guys have seen from the Fan Showdown, and all we did was make it bigger, and it's twice as cool. Here's the original A12x25. Here it is. Here's the original A20, and let's be honest. Which one of these would you buy? I think everybody should tweet Noctua right meow and be like, you should make a limited run of the biohazard one. Even in 200mm. I mean, what are we gonna cool with it? I don't know, but it will look cool on a shelf. That's where it's gonna go. I wish I had something like a giant radiator or something to cool it with. We can turn it on and see if it even works. I guess that'd be a first starting point before we worry about cooling anything. So let me get something to plug it in. Okay, let me hear your predictions. Do you think it works, or do you think it just like wobbles and falls apart? We're gonna find out. I mean, this big fan doesn't spin very fast, but I don't know if you can hear anything. It's completely silent. It's very slow. but it's moving air. I mean, it's 200 millimeters. Let's plug this other one in just to see. Don't drop it. Don't fall over. We don't want you to break. I'm sure this one probably spins a bit faster. It's got a little less aggressive pitch angle. I mean, pretty similar. I mean, at least feels-wise. They're both pretty much exactly the same sound-wise. They're silent. Plus 10 for coolness points, for sure. Let's run a smoke test. That's about the only thing I can do to see the airflow, because I don't have a heat sink that'll fit that, or a case, or a radiator, but I got a smoke machine. Well, what did we learn? We learned that Noctua's A20 should look like this. This should be a product for sure. But also that Elegoo knows how to make FDM printers. This thing is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Now, granted, I knew nothing about it when I got it, but after learning that it was only 160 bucks, and after seeing how well it did, especially in a large print where most of the build plate is covered, it stuck very good. The layer lines looked very good. The print time was what you'd expect from a print that large. And all in all, if you're looking for a printer, if you want to get into 3D printing, and I know a lot of you do because I see you guys ask me all the time, what printer should you get for your first 3D printer? I used to say the FL Sun Q5, but the Q5, although it's good, it's a Delta, and I really like it. I still like it, I still use it. The biggest problem with that one is the cooling fan for the part isn't the best out of the box, so you got to modify it. So because of that, right here is the printer that I think you should get if you're looking for another printer to add to your growing printer collection, or if you're just looking to get into 3D printing. This one will do great, and you can always upgrade it to get bed leveling, I assume. I don't know that for sure. I didn't look at the board to see if there's a plug, but there is a couple mounting holes, so I would assume that's what it's for. Don't quote me on it, but this printer, regardless, is going to be what you need, and I'm impressed. Good job, Elegoo. Also, what else should we do with this giant fan, or what else should we make? If you have any ideas or suggestions, let me know in the comments. Till next time, peace.